Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the advice column. This is Jordan here, and I just wanted to use this first episode as kind of an introduction to me as a person. Many of you may know me, many of you may not know me, but my name is Jordan. I am a resident of Charleston, South Carolina. I am married to my husband, Brandon. We have been married for a little over a year now. We started dating about 4 years ago, but we met about 7 years ago. Um, and I can tell you more about that story in a later episode if you would like. Um, but it's a very long story, so I don't want to spend the first episode going into that. Um, let's see, I am 27 years old. I have a bachelor's in history and in theater, and I minored in youth ministry as well from Charleston Southern University. Go Bucks! And I actually decided to go back to school because I just wasn't happy with where I was, and I am now studying to be a physical therapist assistant at Trident Technical College. I am finishing up. I only have one clinical left to finish, and then I can graduate with my degree, and then I will have to take my boards exam to be licensed, and then I can start practicing. So it's very exciting. Right now, we are in a quarantine, so everything has kind of been canceled with school. And I was in my last clinical rotation. I went for, it's supposed to be a 7-week clinical, and I only went for 1 week. So I still have 6 weeks left to make up. So this quarantine has really messed me up really bad. Just with all of the uncertainty and not really knowing what the next step is, and studying for the boards now instead of later, and worrying about all of that information falling out of my brain. So it's been a little stressful, but I'm getting through it. We're all getting through it. We all have different stressful things that we're going through with the whole quarantine. But that's kind of about me. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. I've lived here all my life. Technically, it's Ridgeville, but nobody knows where Ridgeville is except the people who live in Ridgeville or know someone who lives in Ridgeville. Everybody always thinks that it's Ridgeland, which is a city in South Carolina, yes, but it is like an hour and a half away from Ridgeville. So it's two different cities. So Ridgeville is about 30 minutes outside of Charleston, going towards Columbia. I usually, whenever I say, well, technically it's Ridgeville, people are like, Ridgeville, where is that? And I'll say, you go about 30 minutes up that way towards Columbia, and there's Ridgeville. It's very small, very tiny. It's out in the country, but the Volvo plant was just built here recently, so that's bringing a lot of business out this way. So maybe I'll be a big time city girl soon. Who knows? But anywho, let's see. I went to a small private school growing up. It wasn't a high school. It was a K through 12 school. I went to a place called Holly Hill Academy for my K3 through 3rd grade, and then I went to another school called St. John's Christian Academy from 4th grade through 7th grade, and then I came back to Holly Hill Academy from 8th grade to 12th grade, and that's where I graduated from. And I graduated with the people that I went to kindergarten with. So we had known each other basically our whole lives. So that was cool. And then I went to another private Christian college, which is Charleston Southern. So I did enjoy the fact that it was a small, intimate setting. You kind of knew everyone and everyone knew you. So that was very helpful with just like going through things in life. Let's see, I have my mom and I have one sister. My sister is 5 years older than me. She is married and has a small child, which is my nephew, named Levi. He's very fun. He comes and stays the night with us, and we go over to his house and play around, and we have a lot of fun. He's very funny. He's very dramatic, so I think that's what makes it so funny. But growing up, my mom was married, but that relationship was not a good relationship. Um, and so they divorced whenever I was in the 5th grade. And the divorce took the time from whenever I was in the 5th grade until I was in the 10th grade. So it was 5 years to settle the thing. So that tells you what kind of guy he was. But yeah, like, I'm not going to go into that because, again, that's another long story that I don't want for the first episode to be a super long, drawn out thing. But if you have questions about it, you feel free to ask me. I'm an open book whenever it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm willing to help anybody that might be going through something similar, just to give advice on how to get through it and how to stay positive in those situations, because they are pretty tough, but you'll get through it. So you just have to have a positive attitude and to look towards God for those sort of things. I feel like that helped a lot. And that helps in pretty much any situation, just kind of looking towards God and finding peace in Him, and just focusing on all of the good things that you have in your life that the Lord has blessed you with. But let's see, I'm trying to think of something else about me that might be interesting. Let's see, I'm into theater, so I enjoy acting. I enjoy being on a stage or in front of the camera. My husband and his friend, which is my friend now too, but even before we started dating, he was my friend as well. Keith is his name. But Brandon and Keith have a YouTube channel, and I like to call them a production company because they do more than just videos. Called Tank Media Podcast. Not podcast, Tank Media Network. I'm thinking about a podcast because I'm thinking about the podcast stuff that they do. But Tank Media Network, they have, they do videos and skits, and they do kind of like a table talk where they sit down and talk about stuff, and they do podcasts as well, and they've done commercials for different businesses. Keith has a gaming channel where he plays video games and people watch him play. So I've been in a couple of those videos, and I've helped with like the backstage stuff for it. And I've been in a lot of theater shows as well. Those are really fun to do. If you ever get the chance to do them, I do recommend doing them, even if you're not really a theater person, or if you get stage fright or something like that. I do recommend that you be a part of a show, because there's so many things that you can do behind the scenes. Like backstage, you can be a stage manager, you can run lights, you can run sound, you can be a props master. Like, there's so many things that you can do backstage. You don't have to be on stage, but just like the thrill of being able to create a production is just really fun and exciting. And I recommend that everyone that has the opportunity to, that they do some sort of production in any way, shape, or form, because it is very exciting. It's very fun. And you get to learn a lot about yourself whenever you're doing those sorts of things, and you get to learn about teamwork and how to build a good team. So, yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Again, my email is dearjordanadvice@gmail.com. And on Facebook, I am at the Advice Column Podcast. And on Instagram, it's TAC_Dear Jordan. So you can shoot me a message. Ask me a question. You guys send in some questions that you would like answers to. Just some advice that you would like. And I'll get back to you on the next episode. And we'll dive a little bit deeper. All right. Have a good one. Bye.